Stop trying to make your dreadlocks look like someone else's. Hey bro, is it possible to have dreadlocks like Scarlord if I have naturally straight hair? It's really impossible. You have a completely different hair type, but you don't have to worry because you can get dreadlocks and you can make them look like his as close as possible. And I'm gonna give you some tips on what you can do to make your hair look more like what you want it to. So if you want your hair to look like Scarlord's, we're gonna figure out how to do that today. And everyone really has their dreadlock inspirations. So comment down below your dreadlock inspiration now. But how can you make straight hair look like Scarlord's? Like I said, it's impossible. Because you, the one who's watching this, your hair is different than every single other person's. And of course it could be somewhat like it, but let me give you some tips on what you can do. If you have straight hair, the best method in order to make your hair look like someone else's is to use a crochet hook. If your inspiration is Scarlord, you could take a look at how many dreadlocks he has. He has a lot of dreadlocks. And that's because he started out with probably a sponge rub or towel rub method, which gave him a lot of sections. Or he probably just naturally allowed his hair to lock up and then eventually got it twisted. So let's say he has 100 dreadlocks on his head. Then what you would do is you would go in and create 100 sections on your own head. And you just take those sections and then you instantly lock them up using a crochet hook. But why use a crochet hook versus other methods? Because if you do twist and rip, your hair is going to turn out extremely frizzy. And if you do twisting with gel, that's simply not going to work. And you can't use a sponge on straight hair. And the only other straight hair method is back combing. And if you do that, your hair is going to shrink a ton. If you want products like the crochet hook or the interlock tool or even locking gel to make your dreadlocks, click the link down below to go to Greatlocs.com to pick out the products that you need for your dreadlocks. But crochet hooking the hair is a controlled back comb, which instantly locks up the hair if you do it properly. I showed you guys on my main channel how I took straight hair and turned it into 500 dreadlocks. And this was really just to prove a point that with straight hair, you can have smaller sections. And I did it all with the crochet hook. Now, a tip you can do in order to make them look even more mature is to do a hairstyle right after. You can do it in 2-strand twist or do it in cornrows. What that does is it tightens up the hair and it gives it a little bit of a curl, which makes it look more like a tighter curl pattern. But with straight hair, you want to eliminate the frizz as much as possible. And that's what's going to get you to look like Scarlord's. But I want to encourage every single one of you guys out there. Find a dreadlock inspiration and don't try to imitate theirs, but use it as a target at first and then find how you really want your locks to look. Allow the journey to take you versus you taking the journey. Because I've always had dreadlock inspirations, but I've always found that over time, I've learned to really love my own hair more than everybody else's. And that's one thing that I'm learning right now. I went through a stage to where I didn't like it as much because it wasn't really locking up and I wanted to speed up the process, but I'm allowing it to lock up and I'm doing different hairstyles and I'm trying different methods in order for it to be something new. If you want products like the crochet hook or the interlock tool or even locking gel to make your dreadlocks, click the link down below to go to Greatlocs.com to pick out the products that you need for your dreadlocks.